Hey everyone, so I just completed my first oil change on my 2025 F350 with the 7.3 liter gas V8. And today I just want to go over the tools that you're going to need for the process of doing an oil change on this engine, as well as some of the procedures you should expect. Now, this process will be virtually identical for the 6.8 Minizilla that Ford is also using in the new Super Duties, as these engines share virtually all the components with each other and they're constructed virtually identically. So, obviously, if we're doing an oil change, you're going to need oil and a filter. Both engines are spec'd from Ford to utilize 8 quarts of 5W30. I think it's easiest to go out and get 2 5-quart jugs because these engines actually could possibly take a little bit more, as I found out. And especially when they're new, it's good to have a little bit of extra oil because it's very common for them to burn a little bit. So expect to use at least 8 quarts of 5W30. I'm using the semi-synthetic Ford oil till the engine is broke in, then I'll switch over to a full synthetic. Also, a filter. Ford specifies the Motorcraft FL820S. This is a filter that's been around for a while. Pretty big filter, a lot of filtering capacity on this. If you don't like using the Motorcraft filters, just use something that is equivalent to the FL820S filter. But I think the Motorcraft ones are pretty good. As far as the tools you're going to need, obviously you're going to need some sort of wrench for getting the oil out. 15 millimeter ratchet or wrench for getting it out. This is the bolt that comes off of it. A pretty substantial bolt. It is, like I said, 15 millimeter. It is M12 by 1.75, and it has the O-ring is built into the back, or the gasket, whatever you want to call it. So pretty substantial. Only inconsistency I found between the 6.8 and the 7.3 is some websites specified that the 6.8 uses an M14 with a 1.5 thread pitch. So some said it used the same bolt as the 7.3. Some said it didn't. Might be a little bit different. It possibly could take it bigger than a 15 millimeter, but I would start off with that. Now, the reason this isn't on the truck is because I put a Valvomax drain valve on the truck because I put a Talon Garage skid plate / catalytic converter shield on my truck just for safety and security. So it wasn't too bad to put something like that on. But this is the stock bolt that will come off of it. So comes off pretty easy, standard clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to take it off. So standard righty-tighty, lefty-loosey threads. And then for getting the oil filter on and off, you're going to need some sort of oil filter cap, oil filter wrench, strap wrench, oil filter pliers, something, whatever you have that's going to take it off. It sits vertically, so just something to get it off. It was, like I said, I did the first oil change. It was pretty tight from the factory. So they definitely, I think they over-torqued it from the factory because I'm sure they used some sort of machine to put it on. This came out of a kit I got from Harbor Freight. Basically fits 17 different oil filter types. Great kit, a little expensive, but it fits pretty much everything I own. My Toyota Corolla, motorcycle ATV, great kit. These things are super heavy duty, well built. So if you're looking for something that's gonna fit any vehicle that you potentially may be working on, this kit is pretty awesome. Very heavy duty. I put good torque on that thing and that thing didn't flex at all. So very impressed. Also, 8 quarts of oil. So you're gonna need a pretty big oil pan for this thing. Some of the smaller ones, even I have one that does 11 quarts. I didn't trust it using this. I used something else because 8 quarts is a lot. And when you're trying to pull that out from underneath the truck when you're done sloshing it around, make sure you have a big oil pan or bucket or whatever you're going to drain it into to dispose of it. Have something pretty substantial. Also, you're going to need some sort of funnel for getting it back in, which I'll discuss a little bit later. A bigger funnel might be better the way this engine is tucked into the engine bay. Also, you're probably going to need some sort of step ladder. Not a big ladder, probably something 2 or 3 steps. I keep a ladder in my garage, a small step ladder that's 3 steps just for tall vehicles like this and doing stuff in the garage. The truck's pretty tall and the engine's tucked pretty well in the engine bay. So even if you're pretty tall, reaching all the way in to put the oil back in the engine, you're probably going to have to stand on something. So just keep that in mind. And also with any oil change, have a rag available. You're probably going to spill a little bit of oil. It's totally normal. And also get in the habit of using rubber gloves. Don't use mechanics gloves or anything like that. You get oil in those gloves, you're not getting it out. So disposable rubber gloves, keep your hands clean, throw them out when you're done. That's a good habit that I'm trying to get into. Now, as far as the process, got to give Ford credit on this one. The engineers did a pretty good job. They made a pretty simple process of doing the oil change on this thing. Everything's easy to get to. Doesn't make a mess like a lot of other vehicles do. So definitely a thumbs up to them for that. So whether this is your first oil change or you're a veteran of doing oil changes, you can definitely, this is a pretty simple oil change to tackle. You don't have to jack the truck up to do this. I was able to comfortably get underneath this thing and have plenty of room to work without jacking the truck up. So, I mean, if you need to put it on ramps, jack it up a little bit, obviously you can, depending on what you need to do and your needs, but you should be okay not having to jack this thing up. A lot of room under this thing. I was laying on the ground, but it was quite a bit of room to work under it, so that was pretty good. Now, the way it's set up, you'll see on the pictures, the drain is out the back. The oil will drain out of the drain sump without hitting the cooler for the transmission. So it drains out okay without making a mess. Same thing with the oil filter. It sits vertically up and down. There's nothing below it, unlike some Ford vehicles. Ford engineers sometimes like to put the steering rack right below the oil filter and drains over steering rack. There's nothing below it. So it's a nice straight shot to the ground, drains straight into your pan. Pretty clean oil change. You have pretty good clearance around everything. So they definitely did a good job with that. And you can see the drain valve that I added onto, before I put the skid plate on, you see the drain valve that I added there. So hats off to Ford for making this a pretty clean oil change. Now, when you want to put the bolt back in the sump before you put new oil in it, if you want to use a torque wrench, 19 pounds of torque to properly torque the bolt for the oil pan. Up to you whether or not you want to use a torque wrench. The oil filter, as previously stated, as you saw in the photos, sits up and down vertically. So whether you're someone that does pre-fill your filter, whether you want to pre-fill it or not, totally up to you. There's a lot of preferences on that. You can pre-fill the oil filter pretty much all the way to the top because it sits vertical. And as with pretty much any standard spin-on oil filter, counterclockwise off, clockwise to tighten it, hand tight only. Do not use any sort of wrench or mechanical advantage to put the oil filter back on. Make sure the old gasket came off before you put the new oil filter on. If you double gasket it, it's going to make a mess when you start the engine. So hand tight only. Industry standard is usually 3/4 to 1 full turn once the gasket makes contact with the housing. That's a pretty standard thing. Pretty simple to get the oil filter on and off, as long as it's not over torqued. Putting oil back into the engine, the oil fill is on the passenger side, or the driver's side. The oil fill is a small little cap. It's between cylinders 5 and 6. It's labeled. It has the oil weight listed on there. And then the dipstick is on the passenger side. It's got the yellow cap on it. Pretty simple. When you're checking the oil after you've refilled it, if you put 8 quarts in, I would start just putting in 8 quarts off the bat. Make sure before you check the level on the dipstick, run the engine first. But before you run it, make sure that your dipstick's back in and the oil filter is capped. Now, Ford specifies 3 positions on the dipstick when you're checking the oil quantity in the engine. On the bottom of the dipstick, for the area to check in the oil, you're going to see a large section of hash marks, and below that, you're going to see a hole in the dipstick, and above that, there's a hole in the dipstick. The hole at the bottom is the minimum oil level. The hash marks are basically the area where Ford recommends is normal, and then the hole above the hash marks is the max fill level. My personal opinion, you want to be between the top of the hash marks and that top max fill level. Do not overfill the oil. It's not good to overfill an engine with oil. So I think somewhere, especially on a new engine, have it between those top hash marks and that hole for the maximum. That's going to give you a margin of error if you are burning oil, which is especially common on new engines. So if you're not checking the oil right away, you got a margin of error. If you're at the bottom of the hash marks or towards that hole, if it starts burning oil, leaking a little bit, you have no margin of error before you're starting to get into a low oil condition, which could start to damage the engine. So just keep that in mind. Now, as per the Ford manual, higher oil consumption is normal for the first 3,000 miles of these engines. So it is very common for new cars to burn oil, especially when they're new, as all the material is starting to break in and all the different surfaces are mating to each other. So that is normal. And newer vehicles tend to burn more oil than older vehicles do because they use lower tension piston rings in modern vehicles for the purpose of better fuel economy. So newer cars do burn a little bit of oil, so keep that in mind. You want to also check the oil on a regular basis to make sure you're in that that safe margin of error. That's why I like to have the maximum safe level without overfilling. So if it starts to burn a little bit, and I haven't checked in a while, I still have about a quart margin of error just for safety. Now, when the oil change is done, Don't forget to reset your oil life. Pretty simple. On the steering wheel, there is a menu button. Push the menu button, scroll down to Vehicle Maintenance. Hit OK, scroll down to Oil Life. Hit OK, then press and hold the OK button. It'll reset it back to 100%. So, pretty simple oil change, really not a lot to this. Now, some unique things that I found with this engine specifically that are going to be unique to the 7.3 and the 6.8 Super Duty gas engines. First and foremost, aside from the oil filter being over-torqued from the factory, I had to put a pretty good oomph on that thing to get it off. The gasket was not lubricated from the factory. So it was pretty well stuck to the housing. So the oil filter spun off once I got it off, but that filter gasket was pretty well stuck to the housing. So just like with any oil change, you want to make sure you put a little bit of oil on the gasket before the new gasket goes on. The factory one was bone dry, and that thing was pretty well stuck. I mean, I didn't have to wrench it off, but I had to grab it with my fingers and peel it off. So just make sure that that factory one came off, especially if it's your first oil change, and make sure you put a little ring of oil on the new one so it doesn't stick. So just be very thorough about making sure that thing came off. And also, like I said before, this truck is pretty tall. Even if you're a tall person, it's a little difficult to reach the engine. The truck is tall, and the engine is deep in the engine bay. So between trying to reach over and get down to the oil fill on the driver's side, you're not only are you going to need probably a small step ladder, 2-3 steps, just to get to it comfortably without having to physically lean on the truck and maybe crack or damage or scratch something. A longer funnel is going to make it easy. Your standard regular funnel is probably going to be a little short because you're going to have to really lean over the engine bay to hold the funnel and pour oil in it. But something bigger like a transmission funnel is probably going to make the process a little bit easier because you can stand up a little bit more upright rather than really lean heavily over the engine compartment and hold the funnel while you pour oil into it. So, and then finally, this thing took almost 9 quarts of oil. Now, I've owned a lot of Ford vehicles. Every Ford vehicle I have owned has taken more than what the manual specifies. I go by the dipstick. Like I said before, I always put it between the top hash marks and the top hole, so I have the maximum safe level of oil without overfilling it. This thing took almost 9 quarts of oil. So this, what I have here, was the remainder, and we are just a hair above, less than 9 quarts. So it probably took about 8 point. It definitely took probably 8 3/4, 8.8, somewhere in that range. So pretty darn close. When I put 8 quarts into it, ran it, let it sit for a few minutes, and checked the oil, it was at the very bottom of the hash mark. So it needed almost an extra quart to get to basically right at about that top hole on it. So that's fairly normal. That's why I always like to buy the oil in bulk, because I have it. I'm doing a lot of oil changes on these things, and it's burning a little bit, especially new. I have the little bit of oil in reserve to put in it. So those are some of the unique things that I found with these engines. But like I said, easy oil change. If you've done oil changes before, this one's pretty clean overall. But it's just a lot of oil to get out of it, so make sure you have a sufficient place to store it when you're draining it out, and you're just going to need some of these simple tools to complete this. So I hope this helped everyone do an oil change on either the 7.3 Godzilla gas V8 or the 6.8 Minizilla that Ford is using in the current Super Duty truck. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.